Hey, my name is shawnshawn. I sell art on shawnshawn.co. Today we're going to review Jimena Reno, or in English it would be Jimena Reno. So she does speak Spanish, so I tried to pronounce it in Spanish just to give her a little shout out there. And she does, I think she does some art and makeup tutorials, and she did some travel vlogs. So kind of a mixed channel, mixed bag, which isn't the best way to grow, but she has grown to a huge following. So I guess it worked for her. Some people it doesn't work for. So it just depends how good your videos are and if you're very charismatic on camera. I think in her case she also has a great art skill, so she has a little bit of both. So let's check it out. So this first video is about one of her most recent videos about painting a self-portrait, which is kind of cool to see how she paints herself, and moving. So let's check it out. YouTube's giving this stupid border. What the f?
Hey everyone, and welcome back once again to my channel. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I have to apologize if my voice sounds a little bit raspy, but it's because I am very tired.
So I like the intro. She kind of brings in the supplies, she brings in the canvas, the boards. The camera's a little bit off where you don't really see her face yet, so you don't know what she looks like, which kind of creates more suspense, so maybe that's a good thing. Here we have a little close-up camera angle, so great use of cameras. All cameras are all on the floor, actually at regular height, so it's just kind of a nice use of mix of camera angles.
I recently moved to a new apartment and I'm just a little exhausted. So that is why, but I'm very happy nonetheless, and I will show you a little bit of it later, but this is like the first day that I'm here, so I didn't have much time. But anyway, so back to the video.
I wouldn't suggest painting on raw floor if you're running. You're definitely gonna have damage on that floor, so.
I'm just rambling over here. I went to the art store and I wanted to build my own canvas.
Blick, yes,
So
it's the best.
I bought the stretchers and everything, but I realized that I didn't have all the tools basically to stretch the linen on the stretchers, so I ended up nailing it to my wall because that's what we do, I guess.
So again, just nothing to do with the art video, but if your landlord sees this video, I don't know, you're definitely going to be kicked out later, right?
Just keep practicing on bigger surfaces. I want to get
Ooh,
at
little silhouette.
like painting, but in a bigger piece, because I think it does make an impact.
So let's get to the painting part. I think it's pretty cool.
And I was inspired by two artists. One is Jenny Saville, I think that's how you pronounce it. She's this wonderful artist, I think from the UK, and we actually started her in college. And she just has this wonderful way of storytelling through paintings. And the other one, Katerina Popova.
So it's really good. She's showing the close-up of putting the paint on there, so you get that real visceral feel of you're actually painting along with her. So that's a really cool storytelling device.
Right. I'm so sorry if I mess up your name. But I just love how she paints. She usually starts with this very bright, either magenta or coral base, and I love how it peaks.
There's a great zoom in there.
I think it's wonderful. And it's so hard to paint like this because every color that you're going to put after that is going to be affected by this base, which is why I use a more neutral tone when I use my burnt sienna. So I love her painting so much. So I wanted to try with this one, but clearly I should have done it on the opposite way. As in first the pink and then
Yeah, definitely paint the red and then the brown.
I wasn't sure. So a lot of the drawing, the initial drawing that I did was kind of lost the next day, but it's okay because I had like the main areas that I needed to do it again. Otherwise it would have been a little sad, but oh well. So yeah, I was inspired by those two artists, and oh my gosh, it was very, very hard to paint this.
So nice zoom in on the camera. Let's keep going here a little bit. Why does it do that? All these big artists always have tons of ads. I got this stupid border from YouTube. It's so annoying. Don't know how to get rid of it. Oh well. Shit happens, right? It's a great tonality in the tones. I like the music in the background. It's totally chill mode. And she has a nice, even, slow voice to explain it very carefully, which is really nice. You kind of bond with the, subtle feel to the personality of the girl painting. So that's really cool. So she's using time lapse to kind of shoot you through the video really quickly. Let's go ahead here.
I just wanted to move somewhere that is a little bit quieter and more around nature. I feel like during COVID, it just makes you rethink things a little bit more. And I know that many other people have moved away, back home, or just somewhere else. And I think it makes sense. I turned 25 and I'm turning 26 this year. Oh my goodness. And
Hey, you're still in your 20s.
not the place to be anymore, but I'm always grateful for everything. I don't regret anything.
So it's really nice to add a vlog like this where you show like what you eat and everything.
The link down below. That the first 1,000 people that click on it, they're gonna get a free trial, and after the trial, it's only less than $10 a month, which.
So a great way is to tie in products like this.
Thank you so much.
So she's getting discounts with affiliate links, but
just supporting me and my channel, and thank you guys.
if you get this big, I would totally do affiliates, Let's go to the next one. So another thing she did, I don't know why it says Jim Reno, but oh, that's what she calls herself in English, Jim. If she doesn't know, Jim is a male's name totally in English. That's kind of funny to call yourself Jim, but so a very cool intro. Obviously, you get a lot more guys to watch this because she's in the bathtub. Whoa, that's pretty cool. The makeup style's like, wow. With a mermaid, that's super cool. Artistically, really cool. Up and down, top down shot. So it's just more like a music video, so it's pretty interesting. I don't know if it is, but let's go ahead a little bit.
I have to lot, by the way. Anyway, let's get started. I'm starting with this beautiful Becca primer. It's actually awesome if you have dry skin, especially if we're gonna put like a lot of makeup on our faces, like glue, latex.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anything on your skin, but
try to block out my brows.
Girls get into this.
Really dark, black, bluish intense color, which is really hard to block, but hey, I'm gonna try it. Oh, onto the ears. These latex ears are really easy to make.
So I like this. It's actually not a traditional makeup. It's actually a mermaid. How to make a mermaid. I didn't catch that in the beginning, so that's super cool. It's a completely original art idea, and it's also tutorial makeup. So you're getting the makeup tutorial plus the art side still. So it's really, pretty interesting overlap there. Great crossover, I think. Let's go a little bit ahead.
So for the actual makeup, I was thinking.
So here she's using probably a 50mm, maybe 7mm with a very shallow depth of focus. So that background behind her is totally not in focus. Here I'm using, I don't know, maybe it's an f8 or something setting, but everything's pretty crisp in the background, which you don't always want. You don't want like this crappy background probably. You want kind of that neutral background. She's made it totally neutral, and then you only focus on the face, so it has a really tight focus. So it'll look great on a phone per se. Also pretty good on TV as well.
Like, what makes a mermaid real? Like, if a mermaid would exist. So I was thinking it would be like very organic, all the shapes, kind of like the lionfish, I think it's called, I don't know. And so that really inspired me to make this makeup. That's how a mermaid to me would look like.
Yeah, it's a cool interpretation versus the traditional kind of put on some makeup, throw on a fish suit. She's actually adding like a real makeup interpretation of how a fish would look, so that's a really fun.
Like I do that on every other makeup, but that's me.
So yeah, I didn't know that her makeup wasn't makeup traditionally. It's really how to transform yourself.
So I picked up my CC Beauty cream palette, which is like a dupe for the Flush palette Makeup Forever. And I started to put the coral on top of the dark purple, and then just following my basically like my bone structure of my face and just putting everywhere that I thought I needed.
So she's just speeding it up with the time lapse to make the video faster, because today's youth, they wouldn't want to watch like 20 minutes of how long this probably took, 30 minutes. They just want that really fast to see how it works. So let's go ahead a little bit. Here, I'm skipping ahead. I'm even bored. I'm not bored. This is pretty cool, actually. I think she's adding fins or something here. I'm not sure.
This is actually a latex thickener, and I don't know how I got it. I think it was latex, but anyway, I think it was pretty cool to use it in the spines, so they hold the wire way better. And for the webbed hands, actually a girl asked me how I did it, and it's super simple. Like, you just create like these triangle shapes and put like a bunch of layers. I think I put like over 6 or 7 layers. And then with powder, you just powder everything. Although because I was like in a warm bath, the latex just disappeared. But you can see some of the pictures that I uploaded on Instagram or over here. Oh well, for a picture last time, but whatever. And then we slowly peel it off with lots of powder, because the latex is annoying and it sticks to itself, so it's really important that it's a lot of powder. So this is what they look like.
This is super cool, I think. Let's get to the final look.
I just splattered with an old toothbrush some little dots in my face. And yeah, we just need 2 liters of milk for just to get the water like that. And then of course this beautiful mermaid tail.
Yeah, and it's very clever with the milk in the sense it gives it a different look, but also she can be in there nude or in a sunsuit or whatever, but it makes it, you know, PG-13 safe, so you don't have to worry about YouTube, you know, flogging it as nudity, but at the same time you're basically showing yourself nude, so it's a very clever way to kind of play up the sexuality with the makeup.
The tail, because it's actually fluke, because it's just half of a tail, by Basildon Mermaids. Oh my god, I'm just so in love with this.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing, and she's explaining the whole thing, which is really cool. Let's go on to the next video. Let's see if we can, hopefully that we don't have that stupid border. There's an art vlog. Oh, ads, oh my god. I freaking hate those little things. So interesting is I gotta focus, and then she's focusing in. So she's playing a lot with focus to kind of get your focus of where you want to look at. Really cool shot shooting from inside the fridge to kind of get that movement of the milk moving back and forth. It's a really nice, like a little zoom shot here. Great B-roll. So it's kind of nice. It's like a day in the life. Because she's kind of sold herself as artist, but also kind of model with these makeup tutorial things. So to add this vlog kind of makes sense, I think. Gives it that different feel. Okay, she's going to make some kind of recipe. Let's go ahead a little bit.
This is where I always go to, which is the Vista Hermosa Park in downtown. It's very close to my home. And I went there because I needed to get my head out. I know that leaving the house and going to places is very privileged nowadays.
Oh, these
during this
damn.
time, so I'm very grateful for that. Also, it's very hard to record something while I was painting with gouache, but it was so nice to be outside with the sun and practicing with my new gouache. Well, only
Great zoom shots on the colors to get that real feel for the colors.
They don't dry. And this is what I ended up painting. So I went back home and I decided to keep painting with gouache. I was stuck a little bit in this sort of loop, not being really inspired, so I went to my neighbor's yard. I actually sneaked in.
So it's really nice. She has kind of the candle on the side, her colors there, and it's not at a perfect like shot on. A lot of artists will shoot it straight on the camera. There'll be the painting here, the paints, and the water, and it's easy to follow along, but it's very clinical. And this has a much more natural effect by just setting it at a 3D angle, shooting in at the corner, and you create that nice 3D space within the camera. It's very nice.
It's raining a lot, but the roses were beautiful, so I decided that I wanted to paint them.
And great voiceover, very nice, calming voice.
I did not succeed.
All right, let's go ahead a little bit. It's definitely like a diary form. Oh, these ads. So the ads help pay for videos, obviously, but can't fault someone for doing that. It makes it hard to record a video on top of it, but it's kind of what happens. It's a very cute dog painting. Really nice painting, very small. Interesting, just pours right on top. I would use foam brush. I think it's a little easier than brush. For painting, it looks great though. Versus a foam brush doesn't look very artistic, but this kind of has that. You're using artistic brushes to put the varnish on.
And then I painted with a little bit of the, what's it called, those markers. And I really, really want to explore nature and paint it. I'm reading this book that is the letters of Vincent van Gogh. Honestly, Van Gogh is not even my favorite artist. I mean, he's wonderful, of course, but it's so interesting to read the letters of someone, back in the day in the 1800s. The view on art and on life, and I love the way they write, the way they used to write. He's mostly talking to his brother Theo. Dear Theo, Isleworth on October 31st, 1876. It was a bright autumn day and a beautiful walk from here to Richmond along the Thames, in which were mirrored the tall chestnut trees with their burden of yellow leaves and the bright blue sky. And through the tops of those trees, the part of Richmond that lies on the hill, the houses with their red roofs and
it's a little bit sex appeal thrown in there.
and green gardens and the great spire above them, and below the great bridge with the tall poplars on either side, over which the people could be seen going by as small black figures.
So really cool, very interesting way to put a video together, pulling in a book of Vincent van Gogh. Obviously, it's a major artist. And you pull it in, you got like the poetry of him writing a letter to Theo, which is like very dramatic. I think I've read a little bit on, I don't know, maybe half of his biography, and man, it's so depressing because he goes through such a terrible life and he paints such great painting. You're like, man, he never gets the rewards of his painting per se in the public's eye, and it's like, man, that's so brutal. It's just, I had to put it down because it was so, it's a very emotional connection with the art, and yeah, I can see using this as a very smart way to position yourself. You talk about Vincent van Gogh and how you're inspired, and really great storytelling elements, and how you get inspired as an artist to paint certain styles and how people live. And it's just really fantastic to include this little element. I'm going to skip ahead because it's going to make me really sad. Oh, these ads. Goodness gracious. So another time lapse to kind of show you through it really quick. I don't know if she does like a full-time version as well to kind of show you, maybe it's an art lesson, but maybe she hasn't done it yet, just do some time lapses. Really nice music in the background. Let's go ahead a little bit.
And I think I should do it more often, just copy other old masters' work, because you learn so much.
So create details on the cooking.
Because you're basically copying something that is already sort of thought of, like something that is already chewed, if that makes any sense, rather than copying from reality. But anyways,
but this is such a great way to position yourself. As you see like how she eats and she goes down the park, and you get that real personal feel to it.
Trying to be fully vegan, I still eat some tuna sometimes and some eggs, but most of the time I have,
yeah, vegan's really tough. Vegetarian is okay. I've kind of gone a little bit vegetarian, but I'm not very consistent.
And oh my god, I love it. It's so healthy. But then these days I was just with my friend Lady. I'm going back to the art store as usual.
Yeah, this is always fun. I think that's in, no, Slow's right above LA, so it's a really cool day trip. Salvang, that's a really cute town if you guys ever visit.
To be able to do a mini road trip of, it was like a day and a half only, but we went to San Luis Obispo, and then on the way we stopped in Solvang, which is a very small Danish town, but it was so beautiful. I had no idea that this existed in California.
Yeah, it's really fun. I've been to Solvang maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's really interesting. A lot of people in California, they go back and forth between LA, San Francisco, that kind of area. They never even know about it, and you're like, dude, how can you not go to that? It's super cool. The Danish royalty actually visited the town at some point, and so that Danish king and queen have visited. Salvang kind of gave an honorary role as a Danish town in America. It's very few. Most towns that maybe were settled originally by certain settlers get kind of saturated with other settlers and eventually kind of loses the special touch. In Cincinnati, also Columbus, there's German towns, and around here there's a lot of different German cities that were founded by Germans. But over time it kind of got diluted with other settlers, and you have a little bit of that German architecture left, but it's not as authentic as, say, Salvang, where you have that really, the heart and center of the town is pure Danish. There are a lot of different people on the outside, of course, but it has that really unique sense.
So authentic and wonderful, and we had such a good time just to leave the city.
Great filming place too.
It was a blessing, really.
So really smart to add your travels into your art vlog, give you a lot of personality. People get to learn a little bit about you, and you just have that special connection with your audience, which is more than just the art. So I think that's really crucial. And if you're traveling, it's not unsafe because you film it and then you're gone, right? So what are people going to know that you travel to around? Doesn't matter really. So a really nice video. I think I'll just end it here. And she also has videos in Spanish, which I didn't cover just because most of the audience is probably speaking English. I do speak Spanish, so I can probably translate it, but it's kind of just probably annoying for a lot of people that don't speak Spanish. So, lo siento, Jimena. But anyway, I think it's a really cool artist. I love how she's blending this art vlog. The makeup tutorial, I thought it was just a kind of a side complete, like, oh man, she does makeup tutorials. Why would you do that if you're an artist? But she's doing it a really artistic way. She does like a mermaid and all these different costumes around the makeup, which is completely unusual than a traditional makeup tutorial where you're just doing exaggerated makeup, but you're not doing a costume. She's adding a whole costume, a whole theme, and she has a whole set, and then she's obviously posting these to Instagram, so you get that kind of really nice flow off Instagram. She probably has a huge Instagram audience as well for these type of shots. They're super original, very cool, great use of video, lenses, storytelling with a lot of B-roll, which is just different shots to build the story as it progresses. And it really has a really story time feel to a lot of these videos, which is really great. I think you make a much better bond with your audience. People always love a story. They'll remember it more versus just doing a painting tutorials like blank canvas to finish painting, which is okay. A lot of people watch it for that, and it's great how-to videos. But if you add a little bit of those elements, it has a much stronger appeal. I do in my own videos, I add kind of a question of the day and then kind of add a little story time along with it. But you know, maybe I'll add those elements back in. I did it for my very first videos. I did a lot of this, like traveling to studios, showing the art store, and it's really kind of a fun build to how to do a video. I'd encourage you to check her out. She has a really cool video. Hopefully you guys like the video. And if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next Artist React video. Thanks for watching, guys.